Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and in this video we are going to be taking a look at a potential teaser for Final Fantasy XIV's next expansion. This is apparently information that was available months ago, but hasn't really started getting much traction until the last few days, at least not in the Western community. From what I understand, there were some Japanese blogs that brought attention to it months ago when it first happened, but we just were late to the party. What are you going to do about it? So anyway, whenever a new expansion is coming out for Final Fantasy XIV, we always like to keep an eye out for any little detail we can get. Normally this comes from the fan festival itself, live letters, but one of the big things that has been a little bit of a teaser in the previous years and the previous expansions has been trademarks. Now, when Heavensward was first revealed as a trademark, it was considered, maybe this is the expansion name. Sure enough, it was. Stormblood fell through the same thing, although Stormblood I don't remember seeing until like middle of September the year before the actual fan festival happened. But back in May, they filed for a trademark that was approved in June for something called Shadowbringers, specifically Square Enix that filed this. Now, Shadowbringers seems to fit within the name conventions of, Stormblood, Heavensward, Shadowbringers. Like, it sounds like something that's very much in tune with what they would do. Now, normally, if you had told me Shadowbringers, I probably would have been pretty surprised months ago. We didn't really have that much information other than, we're very likely going to Garlemald. And yes, you could definitely define Garlemald as Shadowbringers, and with the events of 3.3, there's some other details, but I'm more convinced that this is probably the trademark for the title after some of the more recent things that we've started seeing. Prelude to Violet, or Prelude in Violet, which is the name of 4.4, led us to believe that, with red and blue, you combine those, you get Violet. We had Stormblood, we had Heavensward, Azure, and Crimson, and then combine them and you get Violet. However, with the teasers for the next patch, there seems to be this constant mention of a shadow, of light and shadow kind of clashing as sort of like the centerpiece. Now, that could, of course, mean the Warrior of Light and the Ascians, again, based on events in 3.3, or 4.3. I think I said 3.3 earlier. My bad. And it could also just mention the Eorzean alliance against Garlemald, who's generally considered to be a looming shadow over all of the realm. But we don't know anything for 100% certain yet. The main reason why Shadowbringers really draws my attention as the very probable name is because of the things they've been doing over on the 5-year anniversary website with Tales from the Storm. Now, the story from Azure Ashes ends with a line that caught me a little off guard because I was expecting it to have to do with something regarding Violet. And it says, "None can say whither his road will lead, whether the skies that greet him will be striking blue of day," referring to Heavensward, "the blazing crimson of dusk," meaning Stormblood, or the deepening black of twilight. Now, that is a single instance of them mentioning shadows or darkness, and also it seems to portray what is basically a day, where your day starts with blue skies, the crimson of the sunset, and then, darkness. But also during the Rising event, another line is similarly said, and I'm pretty sure I have a screenshot of the quote here somewhere, where the Wandering Minstrel also refers to the same kind of, progression of a day, where he mentions that, he mentions the azure skies, he mentions the crimson, and he mentions the shadows. I got a lot of screenshots, so I probably should have pulled these up before I actually started recording. All right, I'm going to do a cut in the video because I rambled on for a little bit. I did actually find the screenshot with the quote from The Rising where it says, "O hero of rebirth transcending, we view an azure lie. By your deeds doth crimson bleed, and darkness quench this fire." So this theme of darkness seems to keep leading us down this path that Shadowbringers is a very likely candidate for a title for the next expansion. So let me know, what do you think about Shadowbringers? What do you think about the concept of light versus darkness? Do you think it's mostly referring to the Warrior of Light and the Ascians, something that we kind of took a break from throughout this current expansion? Or do you think that we are more directly dealing with Garlemald here? Or both technically, obviously with 4.3 stuff. But let me know what you think about this title in the comment section of the video below. I hear clapping in the other room, so I don't know what's going on. So be sure to let me know in the comment section. Be sure to like, favorite, subscribe, and share. And stay tuned. I'll be bringing some coverage of the upcoming live letter, Final Fantasy XIV 4.4 Part 2 live letter this Friday at 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'll be sure to bring you the coverage here on YouTube on top of live streaming it like I normally do. But anyway, I will see all of you in the next video. And until then, take care.